But I want to switch gears so we can talk about the White House Correspondents Dinner and all of the Twitter drama that has happened since then. So did you guys watch it? Chime in on the comments. Let us know. We've been talking about it all morning. They had a comedian on there. And if you don't know, the White House Correspondents Dinner, there is a host, and that host usually roasts the people in the administration and other notable figures that came up in politics throughout the year. And the people that are at that dinner are the correspondents that have to talk about the White House and all the White House personnel every single day. So it's an opportunity for them to really let loose, have a little fun, a light day for people that usually have to deal with some hard news every single day. So this year they brought in comedian Michelle Wolf. She's on The Daily Show with Trevor Noah, deadpan kind of humor, dry humor. And well, on Saturday night when she was at this dinner, she roasted Kellyanne Conway, she roasted Hillary Clinton, Sarah Huckabee-Sanders, Trump himself. So I want to let you guys watch some of these. Then we'll talk about them and compare them to previous hosts and see what you guys think. So the first one you're going to see is her comments about Kellyanne Conway. Let us know what you think.
You guys got to stop putting Kellyanne on your shows. All she does is lie. If you don't give her a platform, she has nowhere to lie. It's like that old saying, if a tree falls in the woods, how do we get Kellyanne under that tree? I'm not suggesting she gets hurt, just stuck. Stuck under a tree.
Okay, so if you're at home watching this and you're first hearing it, you're like, ooh, that was harsh. Kellyanne Conway burned.
But she's a comedian, though.
Right. And so then Rob brought up the point that I just threw coffee at people.
Thank you for
Sorry about
my
that.
straw.
That, okay, comedians, this is what they do. But the White House Correspondents' Dinner wasn't always like this. And you were saying that in years past, comedians have been funny, but maybe not as funny as one guy.
Well, I would say something happened back in 2006. So George Bush was the president, and this was in the middle of the Iraq War. I believe he had been just recently reelected within a year or two. And so the White House Correspondents' Dinner was not really widely carried. I think it was only on C-SPAN and maybe one other cable network. So it wasn't, in the moment. Maybe they talked about it afterwards, but it wasn't really a big thing. But this was so severely different than all the other years before because he went right after the president and he was in character the whole time.
Stephen Colbert.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of people know him now as a late night talk show host, and he's just a guy and he tells jokes. He obviously has a kind of a skew in his humor, and people understand that. They know him about that. But what really his claim to fame was he was a correspondent for The Daily Show as a character, which then he spawned his own show, The Colbert Report, and a hilarious show. But he did the whole thing in that character, and it just twisted everybody's mind. And people were not expecting, there's jokes, and then as you mentioned, it became actually a roast from somebody in character. And to this day, if you watch it back,
we have some sound.
You'll realize to this day that these jokes still have a lot of hot sauce on them.
So here, you guys, we want to draw a comparison between what you saw with Michelle Wolf and what happened in 2006 when these hosted dinners kind of took a turn in the comedic hosting realm. So you're going to look at Colbert's, and then we'll come back and we'll chat about it.
Mark Smith, ladies and gentlemen of the press corps, Madam First Lady, Mr. President, my name is Stephen Colbert, and tonight it is my privilege to celebrate this president, because we're not so different, he and I. We both get it. Guys like us, we're not some brainiacs on the nerd patrol. We're not members of the Factinista. We go straight from the gut. Right, sir? That's where the truth lies, right down here in the gut. Do you know you have more nerve endings in your gut than you have in your head? You can look it up. Now I know some of you are going to say I did look it up, and that's not true. That's because you looked it up in a book. Next time, look it up in your gut. I did. My gut tells me that's how our nervous system works.
And
every night on my show, The Colbert Report, I speak straight from
and
the
probably
gut,
the last moments that the president was laughing.
Right.
Because got more extreme, and he stopped laughing, and then the room stopped laughing because it was very directed at him. Talked about weapons of mass destruction, which was an extremely touchy subject in that time. And it went on and on and on. And afterward, he specifically said, I separated myself. I didn't want to hear any reviews or anything like that. And then what had happened was, this was the beginning of the internet.
That is exactly.
So the clips went viral all over the place, and then it became this huge story in the time. And I feel like since those moments, I think she was playing to two rooms. I think she was playing to the room there to get some laughs, but also she's looking at the history of comedians and what kind of happened. This by the way, was so controversial. The very next year, they booked Rich Little. Not controversial, funny guy, but they brought it back into more, these are jokes, some are off limits, some are, within, that are A-okay. But I feel like the comedians, she's trying to compete with some of those performances, which I would guess she would like that. So she wanted to do something better. But the more that you try and one-up somebody, you might step over the line, and a lot of people are reacting to that.
I just think that, it's one of those delivery issues. Stephen Colbert, he was very melodious when he was delivering those jokes. It wasn't like any stingers that happened. She was full on taking like a shot at somebody.
Oh yeah, she delivered it with a bite.
Yeah. So I guess it's about delivery. Some people don't find women as funny as men, so it's one of those things as well. So that could be another issue.
And he was delivering it in character, which gives you one element of buffer. Maybe it's not Stephen Colbert himself saying it, but it's his character saying it.
I don't even understand that, actually, because They both were on The Daily Show. She still is on The Daily Show. And I think that their humor is like this regardless of the platform.
Right.
And Colbert's character is Colbert.
But the audience, though, obviously is different, so they're trying to play to that audience. But
I think that now the audience is primed for that sort of an experience when they go to a White House Correspondents Dinner. But it was this last soundbite that I want you guys to listen to about Sarah Huckabee-Sanders and maybe her choice in how she gets her eyeshadow. Scratch his head, looks to the left. Anywho, that has some people up in arms. So listen to this and then we'll talk.
She burns facts, and then she uses that ash to create a perfect smoky eye. Like, maybe she's born with it. Maybe it's lies.
Okay, so I literally was crying as I heard this the first time this morning because I like the Maybelline tagline at the end. I think it's funny, but people were upset, especially about the fact that she was putting a mother in this sort of light on a national stage.
Right. I think
but she's already on a national stage.
I think that
agreed.
For a lot of people that were offended by this, the line is physical appearance. There's just some things you can make jokes or criticize what people say or what they do, but criticizing somebody's physical appearance is a line that should never be crossed. And a lot of people, that's really the sticking point. A lot of these well-known media people like Mika and Ari Fleischer, who used to be the White House spokesperson, very offended by that.
But here's the thing, guys who are sitting at home, she didn't say anything bad about her. All she said is that her eyeshadow is perfect. So it's kind of a compliment. And that is exactly what Michelle Wolf tweeted afterwards.
But she did talk about fat that led up to that joke.
Oh, well, in that particular soundbite, that was what was happening. But you guys keep chiming in. We will see you mañana. And hopefully we don't get into any trouble.
It's gonna be
between now and then.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That's my Justin Timberlake meme.
Can you sing
May
it?
1st tomorrow.
Okay. Bye, guys.
Hey guys, thank you so much for watching. If you want to see more stories just like this one, all you gotta do is hit subscribe.